in 5, 4,
4,
3, 2, 1.
You said clap on 1.
Well, I then said we're going to say the 1. Did you clap?
Okay. Yeah, I clapped on 1.
All right, yeah. See, okay, just we're just going to start. Screw it. I'll figure it out.
Okay.
So this is what happens when Isaac is in here. This is what happens when you leave me to do these things, is that I don't know what the hell I'm doing because Isaac does all the work for this show. I've spent the last 3 weeks trying to figure out how my computer starts. So, welcome to what is technically the Bowels of Movie Night, but I don't know what I'm going to call this or anything. It's something to fill in. I'm your fearless co-host, Larry, and I'll be joined today by my fearless co-host and real-life sister, Lilah.
Hello.
So I figured, she's my sister, so we've grown up together and done a lot of things and had a lot of times together because we're siblings. And I figured, we would just shoot the shit, talk about some stories of our lives and some stories about our ridiculous father, who I've mentioned on occasion, and by on occasion, probably once every other episode on this show. And some of the games we grew up with and some of the shows and movies I made a little bit and just some wacky stories. And just, again, if this is not your thing, that is totally fine, and you can catch the next one. Maybe it'll be a little movie related. I'm gonna try to start watching some stuff, so hopefully I can, do something a little more like the format of the show. But for today, it's gonna be this. It's gonna be just nonsense. We talk about stuff. And on that note, are you still recording? Does it show the bars?
Yes.
Okay, great. Oh, God.
It does. I was staring at it. I was getting pretty worried, but I think I have it correct.
All right. Well, then that's great. So yeah. For those of you who don't know, I am 31, and Lilah is 7 years my junior. So you are 26, right?
Nope.
That's bad maths.
Nope.
25.
Bad maths. 25.
Yes. Okay. I was close. I'm just bad maths.
My birthday did just pass.
Yeah, it did.
At least you didn't think I was 22, like some people.
Yeah. Well, no, I usually have to do the math in my head, but I'm also bad at the math because I've never been good at that and telling people's birthdays. A thing yours is the only birthday date that I actually remember. Like, even everyone else, even like my girlfriends, I have to sometimes just look it up and make sure I've got it right. And it's a nightmare. Every year you have to remind me which day our mother and stepfather's birthdays are because.
Well, that's challenging because they're literally one day apart.
Yeah, that doesn't help, but it's
confusing.
It's a mess. It's all a mess. But so we've been alive for a while, and the crushing despair of life has set in on both of us. And that's the show. No,
and to hear.
Yeah, I mean that's really it's just all led to this. But I do wanted to ask you because we've one of the our biggest topic on this show overall between Isaac and I, because he's the worst and I hate him, and though I miss him and wish him well, I also hope he's dead face down in a ditch somewhere in a puddle of his own urine and vomit. What are your thoughts on Twilight?
My thoughts on Twilight?
Yeah, we had Sarah, who we affectionately call Dr. Twilight, on this show to do an episode about all the Twilight stuff we got wrong, or all the differences between the book and the movies. And you two, if you're not the same age, you're like a year apart. So you were in that same age range where Twilight was aimed directly at you. So I want to hear what you have to feel, what you feel about it.
I love Twilight.
Of course.
I actually saw all the Twilight movies in the theater.
Oh my God.
So I think that I'm very qualified to speak on this.
Were they coming out? You worked at a movie theater for a while. Were they coming out when you were working there? I don't know.
No.
Okay.
I think the last one came out in 2012 or 2013,
right.
and I started there in 2015.
Okay, yeah, I don't remember. That is.
I wish that I did.
Trying to figure out that span of time between when you were working there and those movies and what year it actually was, I couldn't have told you with a gun to my head.
Yeah.
So you loved them and saw them all in theaters.
Yeah, well, I feel like. Okay, so they're not good.
That's
but
accurate.
They're very nostalgic to me. Like, I just rewatched, and I made my boyfriend watch all of them for the first time. And I rewatched all of them. The first one is like, if it weren't so like funny and bad, I don't know. Like, a movie can be so bad it's funny, and that's kind of how it is.
Okay.
But the second one though, New Moon, so good. That's when you really start to get into it. It's like you get there and you're like so sucked into the story because it's just
so
ridiculous. It's so bad. Jacob is so angsty. It's just great.
Thankfully, New Moon is one of the ones I didn't see.
That's the best one.
Darn. Drat.
You know how much shirtless Taylor Lautner there is in that movie? There's quite a lot.
I like me a shirtless Taylor Lautner, but I mean, still, I somehow feel I can live without having to see that one.
Are you Team Edward or Team Jacob?
You know what? I know it was a thing I definitely talked about at least once, but I don't even remember anymore. I hate them both.
Oh no!
Probably
you hate them both.
Without thinking too hard about it, if I think back, probably Jacob. No, wait, no, because he's team baby fucker. No,
yeah.
I think Edward because by the end of the fifth movie, Edward became like halfway tolerable.
Yeah,
but but the problem is in the first and third movie, I wanted Robert Pattinson to get cancer and die. Like I don't actually mean that. But I hated Edward in the third movie so much.
Yeah.
But I think in the fifth movie, he was like, yeah, I got to finally have sex with Bella, so, I can be a regular human being again. Well, a regular vampire again.
Daily average vampire. Isn't it in the third movie, Edward's just, like, not really there?
No, that's the second one.
Is that one?
That's the second one.
That's the second one. Oh, okay.
That's when Jacob swoops in.
Yeah. There's that whole time lapse of Bella sitting in her room, and it goes through all the seasons, and I think that's so funny. Because that's exactly how it is in the book, too.
I think he appreciated that shot. I think he thought it was, like, well put together. But it's been a minute since I listened to those. But anyway, just considering you were a teenage girl right at the time that those were a canon aimed at teenage girls, I wanted to see if it's consistent. Every time I talk to someone who was a teenager in that time, I'm going to talk to them about Twilight because I want to know. But
yeah. Twilight was a cultural reset. It's what America needed at that time.
I mean, you're technically probably correct, and that makes me ill.
Which one of those movies is the best, and which one's the worst? In your opinion?
Well, I didn't see 2 and 4, but they both sounded real bad.
Yeah. Well, 4 part 1 or part 2?
I think 3... But I think it's because I liked the ancillary characters in 3 were okay. But like the Edward, Jacob, Bella stuff is always the worst. But I mean, there's a lot of shows where the main character ends up becoming the worst. Speaking of vampires, I remember True Blood. I enjoyed True Blood, which is a terrible show. But everything to do with Sookie just became the absolute worst. And it's not always the case. It's not just about vampires, but... I do, they're 2 easy examples. But I remember, like the rest of the Cullens in that one I thought were interesting. And the fight scenes were better.
In 3?
Yeah.
I don't really remember what happens in 3, I'm going to be honest.
Oh, God. It's the vampiress from the first one who was chasing them.
Oh, yep.
She makes a bunch of other vampires, and then they go and because the newborn vampires have so much more strength. I wish I didn't know so much about this stupid thing. But we didn't get into this just to talk about Twilight, thankfully. We wanted to talk about some other stuff that we grew up with. We had an idea that because there's a few video games that we grew up with that, like, I'm almost positive no one else has ever heard of. And, like, I've talked a bit about games before on the show, but, like, I'm a huge video game dork. And lately... To my great shame, I can say this, Lilah and I have been playing Fortnite almost nightly. And I hate that it's so entertaining, but it is.
It's just such a good, enjoyable game. When you're not
it's a lot
immediately
of fun.
dying.
It's a lot of fun, and I hate that it's a lot of fun, because I really, truly do hate the aesthetic of it. But, so we're both big gamers, and... she grew up watching me play stuff, and I think that sort of influenced you for some of the things that you like, and for that, I'm sorry, because everything I like is trash. But
I mean, I enjoy them.
it's true. One of the first games I remember you playing is Finding Nemo for the GameCube. And I have very vivid memories of that because I had never played shockingly, I had never played a like movie or TV video game before. And I was like flabbergasted at how bad it was.
It was really bad.
It was awful, but you would always wanted to play it because it was at It was at our grandparents' house because our parents didn't believe in video games for a long time, basically until our mom got remarried. But
yeah.
So it was at our grandparents' house, so we'd just play it on the weekends, and I just remember like you were like obsessed with it. You would sit there and like pester because we were a lot younger then, and you were pretty young, and you would like pester me wanting to play it, and I'd want to play some stupid shitty 90s RPG that nobody liked. And I'd watch you play Finding Nemo and just be flabbergasted. And for some reason, that stupid game is really stuck in my head because there was like, we would be trying to solve puzzles, and that you would be stuck, and I would also be stuck, but I couldn't admit to you that I was stuck because then it would admit that I'm an idiot who can't beat Finding Nemo on GameCube. But I don't think we ever got very far.
No, and I was just going to say that. What I remember is, like, the opening part of it and never really getting past much of it, but playing a lot of the game. I remember specifically there was a part where you literally just race another fish or something, and, like, I just could not do it. But also, this game came out in 2003, so I was 6.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you played it new either.
No. Can I tell you...
Go ahead.
A review for it?
Absolutely.
Okay, out of 5 on Google, how much do you think a review would be? Like, what do you think the average review is?
See, I want to say something. I want to say, like, 1/2, but I think that, like, a lot of times with this kind of thing, they review them, like, against... They don't review it against Call of Duty. They review it against like other tie-ins. Yeah. So I'm gonna say 2.2.
Okay, and then what do you think a percentage out of 100 would be?
44.
Okay, so Metacritic gave it a 62%, which is insane.
Okay, that's...
And even more insane on eBay, it has a review of 4.5 out of 5.
That's... Okay, well, now we have to play it on Twitch.
Yes. And that's 36 people reviewing it.
That's crazy.
Also, on Amazon, it has a 4.5 out of 5 star review. 90 people said that.
I didn't know that many people played that stupid game.
Exactly.
And to get it that high a rating, I could see it having a 4.5 that had 5 people who, fondly remember it from being 6. But it was not good. And it all looked the same because it was just the freaking ocean.
It's just the movie.
Yeah.
It's also just the movie. Like,
I wonder, because Ellen did, no. Who was Dory? Is that Ellen DeGeneres?
Ellen DeGeneres.
It is Ellen DeGeneres,
yeah.
Did they have the same voice actors? Because I don't remember. Because you have a page pulled up, apparently, which is more work than I did.
I do.
For my own podcast.
Let me see.
Great job, Larry.
Let me take a look. Willem Dafoe?
Amazing.
What? Is that real? Hold on.
I hope so.
I really hope so, too.
That's incredible.
Oh, my God. It says Willem Dafoe on here.
And he played the Green Goblin, I'm assuming.
He played the fish that everyone thinks is sexy.
Oh, yeah, that was Willem Dafoe.
Fish.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now that you say that, and I'm hearing his voice in my head, I'm like, oh, my God, that is Willem Dafoe. Well,
that's insane.
That's funny because we have something to talk about later that features the most insane voice cast ever assembled that I'm pretty sure you and I are the only 2 human beings who've ever seen besides the people who made it.
Yeah.
But
also, one of the voice actors, did you see Malcolm in the Middle?
I actually haven't, believe it or not.
Oh.
I've seen like 2 episodes.
For anyone who's seen Malcolm in the Middle, there's a seahorse voiced by Dewey for Malcolm in the Middle on this game.
Weird.
Very weird.
When was Malcolm in the Middle on? I wonder if that was his start or his end. Either way,
I don't know.
He's probably doing community theater somewhere.
Probably. You can only go up from the Finding Nemo video game.
I mean, hey, you get to say you worked with Willem Dafoe. That's really all that matters.
Yeah, honestly.
But so that is like the earliest memory I have of playing video games with you. Other than like you would watch me play like Final Fantasy 2 and 3, which are 4 and 6 technically, but on the Super Nintendo. But
I think.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Nope, I had nothing.
Oh, okay. I think that might be my earliest memory of a game that I played myself.
Uh-huh.
I think my earliest memory of a game that you played is probably watching you play Shining Force. Which was good. It was enjoyable to watch.
Shining Force remains to this day in my top 10 games of all time. It's a Sega Genesis strategy RPG, and it's not very good, but I think it's pretty good. And that series has gone to totally off the rails. But I played that like as early as last year because I don't play new things very often.
Yeah, that's how I am.
But speaking of the Super Nintendo, and I don't think I've ever mentioned this on the podcast before to anyone who's listened to me talk about movies and shit. The greatest achievement in my life, and something I will take. I have very little confidence in myself, and I will give myself very little credit for many things in this life that I can say that I'm good at, and I can say it with a straight face and not have an imposter complex about. I am absolutely the greatest Tetris Attack player in the United States of America. And I will take, and if anyone ever beats me consistently, I'll kill myself. I am the undisputed master of Tetris Attack. It's a disease that spread to both you and our stepfather, because I would talk about it endlessly, because he was also interested in old games too. He was interested in all kinds of stuff, but he liked older games. And I had something about our stepfather, who, Eric, if you listen, I love you, buddy. I think there's an innate desire in him that if I'm good at anything, he has to defeat me. Which is fine. I understand that. I inspire that in people, that people just have to defeat me. And in all arenas in life, I've been defeated, but never truly in Tetris Attack.
Yeah.
Which Tetris Attack is basically just Bejeweled. If you're not familiar, and why would you be? Because not many people have played this. Tetris Attack is basically Bejeweled, where you drop like bars of crap. When you make matches, you drop like bars of crap on the other person's screen that they have to clear off. And it's very intense and high speed and high stakes. And I think between the three of us, we've played like several thousands of hours into it.
Mm-hmm. Did you mention that it speeds up too?
Yeah, as it goes on, it speeds up too.
Goes on.
Yeah, it has become some of the most intense competitive experiences of my life. Have been games of Tetris Attack. I don't remember if it was you and I, or if it was Josh, my best friend, and I, who once had a game go on for 7 minutes, which a normal game of this goes on at 4 minutes, and like it exponentially gets faster. The difference between 4 minutes, it's like with tornadoes. Like the difference between a magnitude 4 and a magnitude 5 is immense. It's the same thing. Like a 4-minute round and a 7-minute round is truly ludicrous. And that's possibly the greatest experience of my life, is winning most Tetris Attack games. It took our stepfather months to beat me in a match. Like I've lost rounds, like because it's like best of 3. I've lost like matches, but I've never. I got that backwards. I lost matches, but I never lost rounds. It took him months to finally beat me in a round. I love Tetris Attack, and I could talk about it forever, even though that's it. I've told you the whole thing. It's just Bejeweled with extra steps.
Yeah,
and no one else has played it.
I love Tetris Attack too, and as much as I hate to admit it, I probably will never be able to consistently beat you, because I've tried. I have like grinded so hard, and I hate that term.
Yeah.
But I've truly spent so many hours by myself trying to play, because I can't. My boyfriend doesn't want to play with me. No one wants to play with me. I've tried. I'll have people over, and I'll be like, "We should play this really fun game," and I'll play. I'll destroy them. They'll get mad, and they're like, "I don't want to play anymore." And then I play against Larry, and I just get absolutely destroyed. I get dunked on. It's absolutely, I hate it.
It's a nice change of pace because I spend a lot of time in this podcast talking about all the things I'm bad at. This is the one thing I could say with a straight face that I am the best at of anyone I know. And I don't know what it is. It's just the one thing that I've been able to master in this life. And yet, it's the same thing. Like, I'm the same way, is that I want to play with everybody, and nobody wants to play with me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've tried to get 2 different girlfriends to play it with me, and I can't like slow down enough to let them play. But it's another game that's like, it starts Yoshi and has a bunch of like Mario side characters, but I've never met anyone else who's heard of it. Mm-hmm. Like unless one of us introduced it to him, like no one else has ever heard of it before.
The music is also fantastic in the game.
Oh, it's phenomenal! Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Have you played? Oh, go ahead.
Nope. Go ahead.
Have you played the Pokemon Puzzle League, which is literally Tetris Attack but with Pokemon?
Are you kidding me? That's a thing?
No, you should Google it because so I had no idea that this existed. I went to like this game convention and I saw someone playing and I was like, "Oh, cool, Pokemon." And I sat down and I was like, "Oh my god, this is just Pokemon Tetris Attack." And I think because I only played it that one time, I think if I'm remembering right, it's the same thing, but you get like, so I think you can play as like Squirtle, Bulbasaur, or Pikachu, and then you get like their attack.
Oh.
Like, whatever Squirtle's attack is, or whatever Bulbasaur's attack is. I could be misremembering, but there's definitely some element to that.
Oh my god, I'm looking at it right now, and okay. Here's what I feel when I look at this. Fear. Because people fucking love Pokemon. Uh-huh. And, maybe people haven't heard a thing about Tetris Attack, because who would? They might have heard of this and might be good at it, and that scares me. Mm-hmm. My throne is not as secure as I thought.
Yeah.
So I might try to play this, because I think I have an N64 emulator somewhere. I mean, I will buy it legitimately. Nintendo, don't sue. Yeah, that's really it. Wow, it really is just a reskinned Tetris Attack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then there's also that, like, the anime girl one that's on the Switch right now.
Yeah, that was the original.
Not as good. No,
it's not. It doesn't have the same, like, feel to it, because it's just generic.
It doesn't have the charm of actual Tetris Attack.
It's generic anime girls instead of, like, weird side Yoshi characters.
Yeah.
It features that dog that was in Yoshi's Woolly Worlds. I don't know his name. Yeah, but it's very odd, and I love it. And Poochie, that's right.
Poochie dog.
Oh man, God, that game's so good. But yeah, that is
very good.
That is the greatest achievement of my life, and I just needed to talk about it when there was someone here who could back me up.
Yep, you are the Tetris Attack king.
But speaking of other games that we played that no one else has played, Dokapon Kingdom.
Yep.
Dokapon Kingdom.
Incredible.
Fantastic. 10 out of 10 game. Almost certainly no one I've ever met has heard of it who we'd introduced to before either. Because who the hell would have ever played this stupid thing?
I've met one other person.
Seriously,
in my entire life.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's just a board game. Like a video, it's a video game, obviously, but it's a board game that's like, I don't know how to describe it.
The closest thing you can compare it to is Mario Party, but Mario Party if it took like 2 weeks to finish.
Yeah, yes. And it's like, but instead of just being a Mario character, you're like a little RPG character who levels up and has... Yeah. Did you equip stuff? I don't remember.
Yeah, because you could go... There's like item shops, magic shops.
Right.
You can do quests.
It's like, it's like a Dragon Quest mixed with Mario Party, but way worse.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it. But it sucks, man.
Yeah. There's like an overworld, and I think there's an underworld.
Oh, there's several worlds. Yeah, because there's like a sky world.
Yeah. And you can change your class.
Yeah.
Something that I did all the time is I changed my hairstyle.
Yes.
But yeah, you can fight other players. You can curse other players.
It's super like hyper competitive.
Yeah.
And the game cheats real bad. Because, like, the fighting is... It's sort of like rock, paper, scissors, where you have, like, 4 options, and then if they... if you choose to attack and they choose to defend, then, like, nothing really happens. And then there's, like, crit attack, there's magic, and there's probably a 4th thing I don't remember. But it's basically like they have to choose the same defense as you choose. And the game just cheats. It just cheats so that you can't win against certain NPC characters. The Darkling.
The Darkling! I completely forgot.
The Darkling, I don't remember how the hell it showed up or anything, but it was just a little...
It was just on the map.
It was just a little devil guy, and you couldn't beat it because the game just cheats. You just... You can't beat it. And it was very irritating to me.
You had to be a specific class to beat it.
That's right.
Like if you accidentally ran into it in the middle of the game, like you're done.
Yeah.
You just get
It's
destroyed.
long as hell, and it's like you could just another player could just from across the map just absolutely screw you. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of fun. We haven't played it in many years. I would play it again.
It would honestly be hard to play because you would have to be at my house for like 8 hours for like a week.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can temporarily move in.
It's a PlayStation 2 game, and I think it was on the Wii. Yeah.
We played it on the Wii.
Oh man, it was such a mess. I remember you got like level up bonuses depending on when you changed class or something like that. I don't remember the specifics. But all I remember was we would play for like a couple hours a day on the same board game, like it was freaking Monopoly. And Lilah and our stepdad were just playing the game normally, and I sat in a desert and fought rogues over and over and over until I could turn into the hero class, which got the best level ups. And then from like level 3 or whatever, I bribed our stepdad to take a fall. So that I would get, like, because if you kill somebody who's a higher level than you go to their level. So I bribed him to take a fall, and then and killed him, and went up to his level with, like, the highest set of level ups, and it was 100% not worth it, and I wasted, like, 5 hours of my life on it.
Well, what Eric and I did, I don't know if you remember this, we would spend, okay, let's say we booted up Dokapon Kingdom and played for 5 hours. Mm-hmm. We would spend 4 out of those 5 hours in the casino trying to get the stupid acrobat class level up that you could only get by playing in the casino.
Oh, God, that's
and
right.
You could and in the casino though, so you could be playing the slot machine and you're like 3 hours into playing the slot machine trying to get this one very specific item and the Darkling shows up. It's like the slot machine is like, oh, you gotta fight the Darkling now, and then you get sent all the way back to the beginning of the map.
It's so badly designed.
Yeah.
It's really bad. It's really just his worst Mario Party. But it's like, it's more interactive than Mario Party, but it's the same sort of concept. Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember or not, I think I'm remembering this correctly. At the end, the king is like, it's like, I don't know, like whoever has the most levels, I don't know, killed the most things like that. And then it'll be like, the king picks someone for the princess, and he'll be like, yeah, I just like this person more.
Oh, yes.
It could be like the person who's done the least amount of things.
Yeah, it's totally random.
Yeah.
There's like, if it's not totally random, Game Facts nerds who are about to yell at me right now, as far as I'm aware, it was totally random.
Yeah.
So you could, work your ass off and quote unquote win, beat the whatever, dragon, Bowser, whatever, demon, Satan, who the hell knows. I don't remember anymore. But, and then you just, you don't win the game. Which is very like Mario Party 2. But the difference is you didn't spend 12 hours trying to win a round of Mario Party.
Oh, you know what I just remembered? There was literally the gates to heck.
That's right. It was game. Heck. Yeah.
The gates of heck.
Yeah, because it's very cutesy. It has sort of like kind of like a little more anime, like they were Mii's basically from the. I don't know. They're like chibi little cutesy anime people.
I'm on Google right now.
Uh-huh.
and I was just Googling when the release date was. There is another game called Dokapon Journey for the Nintendo DS.
Yeah, we tried to play it and it was bad. It's like it wasn't even fun. Yeah, Eric had put it on. He had what are they called? Like carts that you could put ROMs on, and we got it. It's just not very fun at all.
Oh, yeah, it has significantly worse reviews than actual Dokapon.
I'm looking up pictures now. I'm seeing the dials that you used. It's like use like life dials to spin. Oh man, this game was so bad. I want to play it. It's so good. I want to play it real bad.
It looks like there's also Dokapon Monster Hunter.
Ew.
Yeah.
Oh, the haircut lady was a ninja.
Yes, with two little just straight up knives.
Yeah. Oh man.
There are so many good elements to that game. You could get sent to the Coliseum where everyone has to fight each other.
Yeah, we played so much of that growing up.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Well, speaking of things we played, all of us, and speaking of hairstylists, our mom, and Mom, if you're listening, love you too. She didn't really wasn't into games very much. But she loved Rock Band because she's a huge music head. And we played the hell out of Rock Band. And I don't know that I ever enjoyed the game, but
That's a lie. You enjoyed it.
I enjoyed the time we spent playing it.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed some parts of it. I don't remember the game itself because I wasn't good at it at all. It's because you would play the drums. And Eric was trying to learn the Guitar Hero Fender guitar. You could almost slide a real guitar in his hands, and he's playing a real guitar. I don't think he was great at it, but he worked at it and got decent. Well, and I played I played the 5 keys on the keyboard because I was terrible at it.
Not even the advanced keys.
No, I could probably. The sad thing is I could probably do it now because I can halfway play the piano. But we played the hell out of that.
Eric would always try and kick me off the drums, and but he's not that great with rhythm.
No.
And then we would fail the track because he couldn't keep the rhythm on the drum.
Right. Well, did you play drums in real life? I don't remember.
Nope.
No?
I just played them on Rock Band.
Just Rock Band? I probably just remember you playing the drums so much in Rock Band that my old man brain was like, yeah, she played the real drums too.
No,
you played the clarinet.
I played the clarinet, yep.
I didn't remember if you had a drums phase.
No, it was just a Rock Band drum phase.
Well, we played because our mom enjoyed it, so we played that. We had a period where we were playing it constantly.
Our mom not hated, but she did not want to play video games.
She hated
that's
them.
what all of us wanted to do. She hated them.
Yeah.
Which is fine. She would watch us play, but she never wanted to play. Yeah. But she could sit there and play Rock Band for the rest of her life and be happy.
Yeah,
I'm convinced that if she ever goes into an old people home, we're gonna go visit her, and there's just gonna be a Rock Band there.
Yeah, we're just gonna buy her that for. So there you go, Mom. If you're listening, when you go to the old people home, we're just gonna lock you in a room with Rock Band, and you can change your hairstyle for the end of time.
She would spend a good hour or two picking her outfit. She'd be like, let's all play Rock Band. And then it would consist of her changing her outfit. Oh, and also another thing is I think you can make a whole band or is it either you can make a whole band of people or you can just make an account for someone with a personalized character.
Yeah.
We had 2 cats. She made characters out of the cats.
I forgot about that.
Yep. She made a character out of our black cat and a character out of our orange cat.
Oh my god. That's right. I remember. Yep. Now I remember the Samson one now that I'm thinking about it.
They had black hair and orange hair.
And didn't Barnabas have a ridiculous mustache?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
He had an afro and a mustache.
Jesus Christ. I can't. These memories are flooding back to me now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we played that a lot, and we also before that we had a DDR phase.
Yeah,
which I enjoyed, but
I loved DDR.
I think we were all, and it was another one that all 4 of us played. Mom kind of liked that one. I don't think she loved it, but she definitely liked it, and
she would play that one. Yeah,
and But yeah, we had the pads, and you know they worked great for 3 times, and then after that, there was always the one that was funky.
Yeah,
because
it
they
was
got,
always
you
like
know,
you try and hit the one, and it doesn't register.
because you.
Well, they also
yeah.
they weren't actual DDR pads. They were like knockoff pads that Eric got for me for Christmas that worked with the DDR game.
Yeah. And, you know, you were a kid, and so you'd want to play it, and then when you were done with it, you'd hastily throw the thing in the corner, which certainly didn't... Because it's just, you know, it's just 2 cheap pieces of, like, tarp with 1 wire that goes to all the buttons in it, so it's really not all that good. And we tore the hell out of them, but, yeah, that was when I remember that the most when we lived in the townhouses...
Oh my god!
That had the neighbors that hated us.
They would like bang their fists on the wall.
Well, that was more for Donkey Konga.
Oh yeah.
Which was like when I first. Well, another thing we're going to talk about is awful stories about our life. But I didn't. Well, no, I guess I did live there the whole time. You got really into Donkey Konga before I moved in with you guys. Because our parents got divorced and a lot of stuff happened for a lot of years. And I ended up living with our father for a while. And that ended up being a horrible mistake, so I ended up moving back. But at that point, our mom was dating our future stepdad. So like you got to know him like a long before I did. And I think that was during the Donkey Konga phase. Because I saw you play that game once.
Once.
I only saw you play Donkey Konga one time.
Wow, I feel like I've played a lot of time with that game.
Because
I literally have Donkey Konga downstairs.
That was the one that made the neighbors pound on the wall because you had it like on the ground and they were you were like hitting it. And it's bong. For those of you who aren't aware what Donkey Konga is, it was a game you play. If you've played Super Smash Brothers now, it's one of his moves still. I think it came with 2 little plastic conga drums, and it was just another rhythm game where you just kept time by smacking conga drums. It's really, It's like that drum game that they have out now with the sticks.
I don't know. It starts with a T. Anyway, yeah. And the funniest thing was you had to go through the menu by hitting the bongos.
Oh God!
So I thought that was funny.
Yeah, so you still have that and the bongos?
I have the bongos downstairs right now.
Oh,
you can drive over here and we can play it right now.
I don't know that I don't think I ever played it.
You're missing out. I remember the 2 songs that I played the most was Rock Lobster and Louie Louie.
That's such a... Oh, man. That's so Nintendo for something that's so very Nintendo.
That's what they could get the rights to.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We didn't talk about this before, but that's reminding me because the rhythm game that I really liked was Elite Beat Agents.
Oh my God!
Which I don't
know that anyone knows that game either.
I still think that game is a 10 out of 10. No, I think it was popular for a minute. Like,
really?
Yeah, because I saw a couple comics. I saw people reference it before. I know the VG Cats comic has at least one that references.
I love that comic.
Yeah, it was Hitler trying to. Because the plot of Elite Beat Agents was it was regular people who'd have shitty things happen, and they would yell for help, and a bunch of very handsome dudes in suits would come and literally dance their troubles away. It was great. That's where I found the song September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. Do you remember the 21st Night of September, which is one of my favorite songs of all time now. And that was a DS rhythm game that was phenomenal and insanely difficult. Mm-hmm. That I remember the last song was
Jumpin' Jack Flash.
Jumpin' Jack Flash.
And I remember because you played the hardest. Like there's a bunch of different modes, and then when you get through all the modes, there's a super difficult mode. Mm-hmm. I think you got to the super difficult mode, and I was too young to be able to do it.
The super difficult mode was with the cheerleaders, and I couldn't do that. They were too hard for me.
Oh, maybe it was just the hard mode.
I got up to the point of unlocking them, which was bad enough.
Yeah.
But like I just remember being in our grandmother's apartment.
Yes,
in her bedroom because I was trying to focus on stupid Elite Beat Agents with that stupid stylus and that stupid DS. I didn't, it never occurred to me how much of our lives was rhythm games.
Yeah,
which I scoff at now.
Do you remember at the end of every level, you spin the circle?
Yeah. Yeah.
I would sometimes, if I lost my stylus, which I frequently did as a kid, I would play with a pen or a pencil, and you can just see, like, the circle marks.
That's right.
From me, like, slamming the pen, trying to get as much of the circle around as possible.
That's right, because that game was brutally difficult.
It was pretty hard, yeah. I actually just played it a few months ago.
Oh, wow, really? I bet if I played it again, it would make my old man brain hurt how fast it moves.
Yeah. It's good, though.
It is good. It is good. Yeah, I'd forgotten about that, but man, we played a lot of rhythm games.
We did.
But like speaking of our grandmother's apartment, that woman was a saint, and I miss her every day because one of my fondest memories from our joint childhood is, I was between 14 and 17. So you would have been 7 years younger than that.
9, yeah.
And we'd go over there for the weekends, and we would, spend a lot of time watching TV because she liked to watch, like, she genuinely liked to watch TV, like, as an activity, not just as, like, mindlessly veg out in front of the TV. Like, she didn't move around super well, and she just, like, genuinely loved movies and television. And God bless her, that woman who was in her 50s would sit and watch Yu-Gi-Oh! With us and become invested in the storyline that was happening in Yu-Gi-Oh! To the point where she looked forward to new episodes with us. Mm-hmm. And that is truly, like, of all the memories I have of every human being who's ever been nice to me, I think that might be my favorite. Just the fact that she would, like, take the time to get invested in Yu-Gi-Oh! With us.
She would let us tape them, too.
Yeah.
We taped every episode.
She would buy blank VHS tapes. Now, kids, VHS is what came before DVDs, which is what came before Blu-ray, which is what came before streaming. Which they're old tapes that you would have to, like, actively record onto film, which is a thing we used to do back in the war times. And, yeah, we just had tape. And she would, like, watch old tapes with us. And we had, like, it's just, man. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Is not a very good show.
It's great to me.
I mean, I love it, but it's not good.
It's really not.
I mean, for God's sake, Seto Kaiba flew around in a jet that was shaped like a dragon. Because Japan is insane.
But that's what made it good. We also played the actual cards.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I played the cards a long time afterwards. Like,
yeah, and
we did. She would take us to KB Toys.
Yes,
and we would play like in like tournaments and stuff.
Tournaments, yeah.
I was good at that game for a while.
Yeah,
it's a stupid collectible card game. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I just remembered a memory that I really hope you remember.
Sure.
Because you talking about that and Grandma reminded me. We had, I think it was Lord of the Rings. We had a Lord of the Rings game that we played there.
Yes.
That had a sword.
Oh my God! Yeah, it was a. That's right. Oh boy, that's a sad memory for me now. But yeah, it was like a.
Why is that sad?
Because I got into a fight with our mom about it. But it was like a. Oh, what's it called? It was like a plug and play game. Yeah. So it was like this little dinky, like 1.5 foot plastic sword that you would put like a. There was like a sensor on the TV. You know, and she had like an old tube TV because of course she did, and you would like it's like a sensor for a Wii now, or or a Wii, I guess just a Wii, or any other like a remote if they have like a sensor bar, and you'd play this like game that was baked into it, and the sword was like had like Bluetooth capabilities or some shit. I don't know, I don't remember exactly how it worked, but it was
I looked it up.
Okay,
Lord of the Rings: Warrior of Middle Earth.
Wow, I can't believe you actually found that, because I assumed there was like 50 of those.
It's $100 on, I guess, like a secondhand website.
I'm not surprised at all, because I mean it's the worst crappy technology.
Yeah.
So like it's just they're just not going to hold up. Yeah, there it is. Good Lord.
But where I was going with this was, you were doing something else, and no one was in the room supervising me. And I don't know how young I must have been, under the age of 10. And I was playing, I must have got somewhere that I got stuck, and I got really mad, and I bit the entirety of the sword, and it left impressions on the sword. So you came back, and you're like, what the hell is this? And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. There's clearly literal bite marks in the sword.
I remember that? I had forgotten entirely about that game. But I do remember that now that you say it, yeah. No, our mom and I got into a fight about it because she played that too. I don't remember
why that game.
I don't know. Probably because it wasn't just like staring there with a drool coming out of your mouth hitting buttons on a controller. It was like because it's motion. You'd like have to block the ring wraiths and shit. It was a whole thing. But yeah, man, I forgot about that entirely. Good Lord. Yeah, and looking at it, it looks like it's very expensive now.
Yeah, I almost want it for.
I want to play it again
for the nostalgia.
Yeah,
I just have like, wow, wireless sword. I just have that's my only memory of it. I don't even remember what the game itself looks like.
Not good.
I'm sure it's like a crappy Lord of the Rings game. I'm sure it can't be good.
It's a Tiger Electronics god. They made all those shitty like old games from that. Yeah, they were before your time even. They were like the games where. You may have seen them. They were little handheld. They were like the size of a DS maybe, but they were, from like the mid-90s. And they played like all of the game lines were on the screen. It wasn't like a screen. It was just like a baked-in light system, and they would just light up at certain intervals. So there'd be like a Batman game where you could just basically go to the left or go to the right and kick guys who would appear in the same spots on the screen.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm talking to a very old crowd now. But yeah, that's the same company, and they were so god awful. But I do remember that. I remember you biting it now. Yeah, I remember.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
You know what? There was another game that I played. I have no idea if you're going to remember this because I played it. I think it might have been on the Game Boy. I think it was a Lion King game.
Oh yeah, no, that was mine. You inherited it. I absolutely played that.
It was so good.
It was good. That's how you remember it.
That's how I remember it. I remember I played it a lot in the car with Pop and Judy.
That game was so fucking hard.
Was it?
It was impossibly hard. I had that when I was your age. It was old as hell. So that is a port of the Super Nintendo version, which is the irony here is my best friend and his family also had that game, and they also hated it for how hard it was. And I'll tell you why. The first level, it's fine. Second level is this stupid savannah monkey throwing bullshit. You have to like jump up on rhinoceros horns and they fling you up towards monkeys who throw you around, and eventually, if you make it through that hellhole, you ride an ostrich through these trees that are instant kills, and you have 3 little tiny Simba lives before you're dead. I never got to adult Simba, who had a slash, which was on the box and in the manual that I had. Oh. And I'm like, I want to be a lion who slashes hyenas. And I never got there because that game was so hard.
I just remember playing it a lot.
Yeah,
and really enjoying it.
Yeah. I don't remember enjoying it. I mean, I'm sure I did when I was a kid, but it took me like years to get past the first level.
What's better, that one or Finding Nemo?
I'd never really played Finding Nemo, so I guess Lion King, technically. I'm sure people remember that more fondly than Finding Nemo. That was at a time where games were more, Lion King was huge, and games were, a standout like that was tied to a property was a bigger splash than, Golf 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
But that reminds me, one of my earliest video game memories, since we're still on video games, is when I was a little kid playing, because again, we would play I would just be, this is before you were born, I think, so you may never have heard this story. But, besides playing Final Fantasy IV, which is my favorite game of all time, because I played as a little kid, I have a tattoo of it, I love it, it's my favorite thing. But I was playing Super Mario World at my grandparents' house, which is ironically the house I live in right now. And there was a level that was like, I never played it for like to beat it. I would just play the levels. And I got really good at the one level because I would just keep doing it over and over because I was a stupid little kid and didn't know any better. And there was another level that I was die on, and it was very difficult. And I eventually I got the courage to try it, and I got most of the way through it, and then at the end, it's the Mario. If you start Super Mario World, it's if you go to the left. I don't remember. It's probably like World 1. I don't even know. It's like World 1 or 2. It's one of the two. On Yoshi's Island in Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo. And there's a football guy at the end of it. I think I called Charge and Chuck. And he killed me right at the end. And I started crying because I started to throw a fit because I was so sad and mad. And I wasn't allowed to play Nintendo for a month.
Oh,
and I just remember I wasn't allowed to play games for a month. I just remember being
Whose decision was that?
Papa Judy's, I think. They were just like, are you crying over a video game? This needs to stop. So I just remember that being like so upset about that.
That's funny.
Stupid. I hate that level to this day. I mean, I've beaten that game a dozen times, but god damn, I'm still upset about that.
Yeah, Eric and I used to play that within the past few years. That game's pretty hard.
Yeah, it holds up. It's still fun. I mean,
it's good though. Yeah,
it's a Nintendo game. Nintendo re-releases video games every year, so
yeah,
you can play it on the Switch right now. In fact, I have. My girlfriend and I played it not long ago. Yeah, I think that's more or less all the video game stories that I could remember off the top of my head. Oh, we also played Super Mario War a lot, which is
that's so good.
An underrated game that I would play right now if you wanted to play it. Which is just like, it's like a hack somebody made, I don't know of what, but it's just like a bunch of little sprites. It's like there's games like it now. I want to say like Towerfall was probably old now, but that was popular for a minute. Where it's like you're on a little arena, it's like a little 4-person arena, and you're just like Mario jumping on each other and getting items and all kinds of stuff, and there'd be like different objectives. I don't know how to describe it, but it
looks like Smash, but Mario.
Yeah, like old
because you
Mario,
have a level,
like Super Mario,
like
or
Super
Mario
yeah.
3 level graphics. But yeah, that's right. I guess Smash is a good comparison, but very not fancy.
Super Mario Smash.
Yeah.
But you could be a boot.
You could be a boot.
The boot was the best part.
I don't remember a lot of things about it, but I remember loving the hell out of it. I remember really looking forward to it. Yeah. So I want more people to look that up. If you're a fan of games and older games, look that up, Super Mario War, and then hit me up so we can play, because I want to play it.
Okay, so Finding Nemo had, what did I say, 4.5 out of 5?
Yeah.
Guess how many this has?
I like that that's a touchstone that we're coming back to, is the Finding Nemo score. I'm gonna start
because that's insane.
I'm gonna start comparing movies that we regularly review with Finding Nemo on the GameCube from 2003. Why did we have a GameCube? I don't remember playing a single other. Well, Zelda, but I mean,
on the GameCube.
Yeah. What else were we
playing? You're saying Double Dash.
Oh, Double Dash. We had to get to that too. That's right. But go on. Finding Nemo out of 4 or 5, and what are we guessing it against?
For Super Mario War, it has a 3 out of 5 score.
Inconceivable.
Yeah, that is insane. But okay, so can I switch the topic for a moment?
Absolutely. This is no structure. Isaac isn't here. He does all the work on the show, for God's sake.
Okay, so you didn't play this one, but there's this crazy game called Uniracers that came out, it looks like in 1994, according to Google.
I'm familiar with it, but I didn't really play it all that much.
So you can do like these okay, so there's different modes, and you can race against other people. So it's like a track, and you're literally a unicycle. So, and the unicycles have names.
You're not a person on a unicycle.
You're just a unicycle. And the unicycles have names. So you pick your unicycle, and then you can either race against someone, there's a few other modes, and then there's a mode where you just do tricks, and you can just literally smash the buttons on the controller, and it'll be like, you just did the Cowabunga 9000. And it's just ridiculous. Like, you're a literal unicycle, and that's the game. That's it.
When I become a professional wrestler, my finishing move is going to be called the Cowabunga 9000.
But yeah, it was like very like 70s, or I don't know if that's the right time period, but it'll be like the hip move or groovy man, like things like that.
Now that you say that, I remember seeing Groovy Man.
Yeah, like I don't know. But so going to ratings, what do you think this is rated out of 5?
5?
5 out of 5 is correct.
Sounds about right. Now, here's the thing, though. Is there one person who's reviewed it?
Let me see if I can look that up.
So, because I was curious, because I haven't seen this game in forever. Because you and Eric played it a lot, our stepdad, but I didn't really play it. I didn't think I liked it very much. But I'm looking at the Wikipedia page. Apparently they got sued and couldn't sell any further ones by Pixar. Because Pixar alleged that they had a film that one of the unicycles was copied from.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
And yeah, a judge agreed. And
that's
they
really
won
stupid.
The suit. Yeah.
Okay. Well, this makes it kind of sad now. Just 3 people rated it 5 stars, but that's a strong 5 stars. That's a consistent 5 stars. On Amazon, it has 4.2 stars. 57 people.
So that's you, Eric, and like one other guy on the internet who reviews old SNES games and no one else.
One guy in the smallest town in Washington State also agree.
Forks, yes.
90 Forks. It's Edward Cullen.
Yeah, for Edward Cullen, big Uniracers fan. No, he's too busy being dramatic to play Super Nintendo.
Listen, Edward's been around for like 700 years. He's got all the time to play Uniracers. He's unlocked every level.
I mean, you know what?
Unicycle.
It wasn't like he was having sex all those 700 years or whatever, however, 70 years. So he probably was playing Uniracers. And then, so I like that now the headcanon for me is he was bringing Bella home to see his apartment, and he's like hastily burying his Super Nintendo in the woods. And like buying books, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so dramatic and mysterious. We don't have televisions.
We don't have Uniracers."
Yeah.
I think that might have been the last game that I had to talk about. Let me take a look.
We did.
No, you can mention the Double Dash.
We did play a lot of Double Dash. Mario Kart Double Dash.
That was my favorite game.
And I think it was Eric's too.
Probably at the time for a while.
I like Mario Kart. But I'm not good at Mario Kart. I never really have been. Like, I'm okay. But the nice thing about Double Dash is it's 2 players on one kart. So one person drives, and the other person is in the back and throws the items. They both can throw the items, but like then you can switch the drivers. But so Eric and I would try to like unlock stuff because the game is hard too. Like it's a harder Mario Kart, I swear. And
it is.
He would drive because he was a good driver, and I would just be in the back as a gunner because I have great aim with a turtle shell. I can hit a fly off of a horse's ass with a turtle shell. So that's just how we would do that, and we did it a lot. And then you would just race by yourself and just be fine because you were way better than we were.
Well, what I like about Double Dash is you can also punch people. You can punch another player's cart.
Oh,
if you're on the back.
I don't remember that. Oh, that's right.
Yeah. You can literally push someone off like the map. So if you're on Rainbow Road and I get right next to you, if I have someone on the back, I can punch you.
We did that every day for a while.
I played that for so long. We had someone visit. I don't know how to explain what it is. We took a kid in and they visited for a summer.
Oh yeah, that's right. I always forget about that.
Yeah,
that was after I moved out, right? That was when I was like 18 or 19.
Yeah. No, because when did you moved out?
At 18.
At 18.
No, I moved out at 19.
No, you.
But it was I graduated at 18 and I moved out like 6 months later, basically.
Oh yeah, No, you definitely still lived with us.
When she?
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't. I definitely didn't. I know I didn't because I remembered that more.
Yeah. But anyway, I got her hooked on it. And I remember we got into a screaming match over it. And Mom had to separate us.
I remember hearing about that.
It got too intense.
Over Mario Kart Double Dash.
Over Mario Kart Double Dash. Because I remember we were playing, there's a mode in it where you can play and do every single map.
Oh,
and
God.
It got too heated. It was, I think it might, World Cup maybe?
I remember that.
The World Cup, yeah, something like that.
If that perfectly describes the differences in our personalities, because your nasty emotion video game story is you and someone else getting mad at each other, and mine is just getting horribly sad.
Oh no! I'm the aggression, you're the depression.
Man, I hate that that's accurate. Oh my God.
We have a little bit of both, though.
We certainly do. I'm an unpleasant human being. But
but in the way that you are with Tetris Attack is how I am with the Mario Kart in general.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't even begin to question to challenge you. But I remember because my friend Josh, he is very much like, he also is, if he gets into something, he tries to be the best at it. And we played, this was like not even, it was like maybe a year and a half ago. We all played at my apartment, and you were there and he was there, and it was his brother and I. And you just made a mockery of everything the rest of us were doing. You absolutely demolished it. And I remember he was like flabbergasted because he'd been trying. Because it was like the second time we'd done that. Because he was in like a Mario Kart swing. So he'd want to come over and play it, and then you would come over because you're always looking for people to destroy. And you just are a demon. It's unbelievable.
And it stems from starting playing Double Dash so young.
Yeah.
And that can lead into going to a Double Dash tournament. I was in 5th grade, and it was at what was that, a Hollywood Video, or was it? No, it was a GameStop. It
was attached to a Hollywood Video. Was that GameStop?
Yes, it was attached to a Hollywood Video, but it was a GameStop.
Okay.
And they held a Double Dash tournament that my stepdad took us to. And Larry wasn't there.
No,
but I was there. And I don't know what year was I in 2000 something. What was I in 5th grade? How old are kids in 5th grade? Like 11?
I don't know. That's a question I would ask you. I don't know.
Probably like 2000.
It was Game Crazy.
Maybe? Game Crazy.
I knew it wasn't GameStop. Yeah, Game Crazy was their attached video game thing.
Okay. Well, anyway, they hosted a double dash tournament that our stepdad took me to. And I remember distinctly, it was in the store was pretty small, and what we were playing on was literally one of the display TVs that you can test out a game on.
Oh my God.
I thought that was hilarious. But there was an incident with someone with a cheeseburger. I don't know if you want to tell it, because you're going to tell it better than I am, because I misremember things because I was so young.
Now, I wasn't there, but this is an amazing story that I've been told several times, and I've retold because it's incredible. And I remember the specific way that Eric used the guy's voice, because that's part of it. So you guys are there at this thing, and there's this nerd guy there, and who's there, and I say that being a fat nerd myself, but I remember describing him as, I think it was described as just typical Mario Kart nerd. And he was there with his girlfriend.
Wearing a long jacket.
I didn't remember that part.
Think of a 2000s long, almost like something that like what they wear in the Matrix.
I was going to say, a guy who watched the Matrix too many times? Yeah, and he's there playing Mario Kart. And astonishingly, he's convinced a woman to be in love with him. And she was there with him too. And at one point, he apparently, and again, I was not present, I've been just told this story on several occasions. Apparently at one point, this gentleman produces from his jacket a cheeseburger, which he then proceeds to begin eating. And his girlfriend then asks him, "Can I have a cheeseburger?" Assuming that he has, I guess this means he has more stashed in the many folds of his jacket. His Neo from the Matrix jacket. And his reply to her was, "Maybe when I get more money." Which, it's just one of those things that sticks in the mind forever. that guy exists.
Yeah.
He's probably married. I probably work for him now.
Yeah, he's probably totally normal now.
Yeah.
I remember, I think I beat Eric in that tournament.
You did.
But there was one guy that beat me. I think I'm almost 100% sure I got second. Mm-hmm. And you know what I got for it?
What?
A Pokemon notebook.
You were, in fairness, you were playing a game tournament at a Hollywood Videos add-on Game Crazy, which every Hollywood video did not have.
I do remember it impressing one boy in my 5th grade class.
Wow. And you've been married for 15 years, huh?
Yeah. We got married that same afternoon.
Yeah. That was the weirdest child wedding I'd been to that week.
Yeah.
But
I think that's all the games that I wanted to talk about then.
Yeah, that Hollywood Video, oh man. I was there all the time.
The Blockbuster over where Walgreens is now, where I live.
Yeah.
Grandma used to take us there all the time.
Yeah,
she took me there all the time.
Oh, and me. No, yeah, we used to go there because again, she
loved movies so much.
She loved movies. We watched so many with her. Oh, do you remember? Speaking of that Blockbuster, do you remember she accidentally stole Merlin?
Yes.
There was this shitty old movie. I don't remember who was in it. It's like from the late '90s, early 2000s, called Merlin. That wasn't good, but she loved like fantasy movies and stuff. She grew up like reading Horatio Hornblower, like which is a series of books about like a ship captain. She used to talk about all kinds of stuff, but she loved like fantasy. So she'd rent these fantasy movies. She rented the shitty Merlin. We watched it. It wasn't good. And then she lost it in the house, in her apartment, which she was a hoarder, so it was gone. It was lost to time. But in her head, she was like, well, if I don't have it, that means I return it to the Blockbuster. And she, like, the guy, when they called about late fees, she chewed that poor kid a new ass. She told him, like, the fire, hell, and she was very eloquent. So it was basically like, hellfire will rain down on you for these late fees, boy. So, you know, because she just wasn't having it because she was positive that she returned Merlin. And so eventually they're just like, whatever, man. It's no one. You were the last people to rent it in 6 months. It's fine. And then it turned up in her apartment. And it just became this running family joke that if, like, you know, keep it up or we're going to report you to Blockbuster when we got photo evidence of you with Merlin.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh man. I miss
her.
Grandma.
I do too. Oh, Lord.
That's funny.
Yeah. But yeah, boy, I'm old now.
Yeah.
I've gotten old.
Yeah.
I feel it every day. Every time I'm squinting while I'm playing Fortnite with you and I'm squinting at my television because I'm blind.
Yeah,
and,
you
I'm playing with you and your friends and you're all, you know, and they're all very good and then there's me like, where's the man with the gun now?
You even have audio cues on.
I do.
You're ancient.
I'm only 31, but I feel like I'm 100. Just in body and mind, I feel like I'm dead already. I'm just a corpse shuffling through this mortal coil.
I can see what I'm going to be like when I'm 30. Just based off the family in general.
Oh.
I can see how I'm going to be when I'm old, and I just want to end it before that.
Oh, God, the examples you have.
What do they say? I'm going to break the...
Please.
I don't know.
I mean, I broke the cycle in a different, worse way. I'm not living my best life. Let's just leave it at that. Do not eat as much as I did and continue to do.
We need to break the beard cycle.
Ugh, God.
Can I say that on the podcast? Can I say your last name's Beard?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to dox us.
Our website, which we created and then proceeded to not add to because Isaac and I are deeply depressed and anxious and have trouble putting things together, is called The Early Beard for our last names. So we're pretty open about it.
Oh, The Early Beard. That's very clever.
Yeah. I thought so. And he put a logo together that I don't know if I've ever showed you because I try not to push like the podcast and the things that I do to people around me because it just seems like one of those, hey, look what I did. I don't want to, you know.
I literally listen to the podcast.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I actually don't.
Yeah.
I don't really ask anybody in my life to. Like, my girlfriend doesn't. My best friend doesn't. Our parents don't. Which is fine. I don't really like try push that.
Yeah.
But
I listen to the ones that I'm interested in.
that's good. Yeah.
I listened to the Twilight one.
Yep. They're bad. They're bad movies, but they're good reviews, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so yeah. There's no doxing. Who gives a shit? Let somebody kill me. Let him try.
Please.
Let him try. There's been a flock of turkeys since the thing I've been doing now that I live up in the middle of nowhere. There is a flock of turkeys that have been in the yard, and they're roosting and they look comfortable, but they're like in the middle of the yard. Mm-hmm. I just want to set the dog out there, not to catch them, just to just to rise them up. Because I'm a bad.
Ruffle their feathers.
Exactly, I'm a bad person. I want to see him scatter in 10 different directions. Because he won't know. He's not gonna. He don't know what to do. He's old too. He just wants to make friends.
Dog?
Yeah, he's old.
How old is he?
He's going on 8.
Oh my God, he's old.
I know. I'm trying to think about it. He's gonna live forever.
He's the oldest, biggest boy.
I've killed a lot of orphans to ensure that he's gonna live forever. That orphan blood don't come cheap. You gotta locally source it. I shouldn't be saying this in no microphone. This is all a joke. Well, I think that's. We talked about video games for a while and the related stories about them. I'm sure we. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've been siblings for at least 25 years. So.
At least.
Yeah, we have a plenty of more to talk about. So yeah, I might have you on again, and we'll talk about more stuff. And we've managed to avoid all the depressing stuff. That's
for the next episode.
Most of the depressing stuff, but it gets funny now.
We could fill 10 years with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very much so. It's funny now, looking back.
It is funny now.
It wasn't funny in the moment, but it's funny now.
It's the residual trauma isn't funny.
No.
But thinking back on it's funny. My inability to be a normal functioning adult isn't funny. But it also is. Yeah,
my crippling anxiety isn't funny, but it makes for some great stories.
My dependency on my cats.
Yeah, my dependence. When I ran out of people who needed me to take care of them, I got a dog who needs me to take care of him. So I'm doing great. Yeah. I'm not horribly mentally scarred. But I mean, hey, that's the podcast. I do want to tell one story because I think it's the most indicative story of how your and my lives go.
Okay.
When I was an adult and living on my own, and you were probably like 16 or 17, I think. Maybe, I want to say 16. So you were still living at home because you were still in high school. We both have/had terrible asthma. I mean, I think we're both a lot better now. We still have it, but it doesn't affect me really that much at all anymore.
I'm way better now.
It's mostly like pet dander that gets me nowadays, and allergies kind of. But we both had terrible asthma, so we've both been in the hospital plenty of times. You way more than me. I've been in the hospitalized a few. I was hospitalized for like 2 days once because I was living in a van, a Jeep, and having to keep taking. It was cold outside. I had to keep taking asthma medication, and I ended up going to the hospital because I took too many steroids and my blood pressure was insanely high. So, but you were in and out of the hospital like all the time for a while. Mm-hmm. And one time, I was playing Dungeons and Dragons because I'm just the coolest motherfucker who's ever walked this earth. And I did something cool, and I was like, "Oh, this will be funny." So I did a victory lap around the house, and I ran outside. And I slid on, it was like 3 a.m, because of course it was, and I slid on some dew-covered grass and smacked my head into a car. Now, my head was totally fine. Like, it hurt for, 3 minutes. My head was complete. I didn't have any lasting damage, and it wasn't that hard. What I did do, however, is totally fuck my ankle. And I sprained it. And I didn't realize it in the moment until the next morning, and I was like, well, I can't walk. So, and at that point, I lived with, I don't remember if my one friend was in the Army, but I lived with 2 roommates, 1 or 2, and they were both either not there or couldn't drive. Because one couldn't drive and one probably wasn't there. So I took off of work, which is a hassle at the time, and I had to go to the hospital because I couldn't walk and I clearly sprained my ankle. So the place I was living in was my best friend's dad's former place, who had moved out and just left everything there and never told the landlord, which is another funny story for another day. But he'd left behind a bunch of like hand-carved canes. So I took one because I couldn't walk. And I'm like, oh, this is convenient. It's a cane I can lean on. But it was like, a knobbly old branch, like a walking cane, not like like a cane you buy at like CVS. So I hobble myself to the hospital, and I go into the hospital, and remember the nurse is like, what are you in for? And I'm like, well, I definitely either broken or sprained or something to my ankle. And then she looks at me critically, and she's like with the cane, and she's like, do you always use that? I'm like, I'm 24, so no, I don't. I just mentioned I sprained my ankle. But I guess when you do like leg stuff, they have to put you in a wheelchair right away so you don't fall in a nice floor and sue them. So they put me in a wheelchair, and I'm sitting there at the desk with this cane over my lap, and who should walk out of the emergency room but you and her mother?
Yeah.
Also coming from the hospital where you'd just been hospitalized.
It's a beard reunion.
And just the look on your faces of sheer bewilderment. Because, at this point, I'm living 10 minutes up the street from you, so you saw me relatively often. Like, and there I am, just in a wheelchair.
In a wheelchair.
With a cane over my lap in the hospital. Where, like, literally crossing paths like two ships in the night. Just in and out of the hospital. Which is just one of those stories that's like...
how is that even possible?
Of course.
Right.
Neither of us knew. It wasn't like you texted me, I'm in the hospital for Annisborough. I said, I broke my ankle.
A lot of the times I would go to the hospital in the middle of the night. Yeah, so I'm not going to text anyone and be like, I'm in the hospital.
Right. It's so fitting that we ended up you leaving as I was going. Like, of course that's how it went. Of course.
And that's how our lives go.
Yes.
That's just a glimmer, glimpse.
It's just like when it's like, when one of us is up, the other's probably down, and it'll change. Yeah. It'll switch. It will switch. Like, at some point, it will change. And that's pretty much always how it's gone. It's quite incredible that it seems to always work that way.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on a downswing, so get ready for a windfall.
I gotta hit the casino soon.
Yeah, honestly, it's not time to start playing the lottery because I got a couple things that are going way downhill. So you're about to get the hot air balloon of success is about to visit.
This is awesome news for me.
Yeah. Oh, good!
It's incredible.
My brother's struggling.
Suffering.
Hallelujah.
Thank God.
Straight to the craps tables.
It's okay. Oh God! Soon I'm gonna. It can only be downhill though for me.
Well, I can't wait. That can only mean that I'm on an upswing. Oh, but yeah,
I'll be sure to let you know when my life's going to shit.
Well, I'll just know. I'll be able to call. Well, next time I'm doing really well, I'm just going to call
Lilah,
you and be like,
I won
"What's
the lottery."
wrong?
I'll be like, "Oh no, this is horrible news."
I just got engaged. What's wrong? What happened?
Oh God.
Yeah. So, yep. That's pretty much how it goes.
Yeah.
The best part of that story for me too was then when I had my sprained ankle wrapped up with an air cast, and I went to my job. I worked in a restaurant with Isaac at the time. And well, I don't think he was there I think he might have been at another job, but he did come back to work there again. I went there on crutches because they gave me crutches, and the guy who worked there had been friends with for a while. He met me at the door, and he opened the door for me. He's like, "Hey, you doing all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I just twisted an ankle. It's sprained. I'll be okay." And my boss was down at the bottom of the stairs in his office. We had a basement in that restaurant, and he had an office in the basement. So I was going to talk to him and be like, "Hey, sorry I missed today. I think I can work tomorrow. I'm just going to be a little slow. I might not be able to do a couple things, but I don't want to miss any more work." So I'm going I'm going to talk to him, and I'm going down the stairs. And I turned to my friend. His name was Mike. I turned to him and I said, "You know what, man? I've never used crutches before, but this is a breeze. I don't need these crutches." I literally crutched down to the next step, fall ass over tea kettle, and sprained the other ankle at the bottom of the stairs. And it hurt, but I am just in tears of laughter. So he is concerned because he's just watched me, a large fat man on crutches, tumble head over ass down the stairs. And he's like, "Are you okay?" But he's laughing because I'm basically howling with laughter. And I said, "I just sprained the other ankle." So what I did was I moved the air cast from the foot it was on to the other foot. And then I went into my boss and just didn't tell him that I sprained my ankle literally right outside his door in his business. And the door is soundproof, so he didn't hear it. So he didn't hear me just tumble down concrete stairs. So yeah, that's it. This is the way it goes. These are the things that made me who I am. And God,
I must have had an incredible week then.
Yeah, well, by all rights, yeah, you must have. We gotta get
remember.
this. Yeah, I know. Yeah, seriously. So you must have. What's the opposite of spraining both your ankles?
Getting jacked. I don't know.
Did you get like a 2-for-1 on tattoos or something? Did you your tattoo artist got you a break?
I was like 15.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point.
Oh man, yeah.
Yep. We got to get one of those for Isaac. We got to convince some poor idiot. He has a brother, but clearly it's never worked in their favor. So we gotta find somebody we don't like and hook their karma together.
Yeah. Oh God.
So, but
I want to know if that's ever happened to anyone else.
If
anyone's out there.
Yeah, it feels like one of those things that had to have happened before. But the irony of it happening to me when I was going to tell my boss about how I sprained the first ankle, like literally outside of his door, like I landed like almost at his door like a cartoon, like he'd open the door and then I'm just there in a heap, in a heap of limbs and crutches, which I was so confident. I'm like, I don't need these crutches. And I just remember, oh Lord, I remember there was because I worked at a different location of the restaurant chain, and there was a girl I liked working with me, but we had a falling out, and so she didn't talk to me at all, and it was oftentimes just her and I, which was awkward as hell, who would be there, and I just remember, because we'd be working together in the middle of the day and it'd be dead silent because we refused to speak to each other. And I would just be changing the cat. I was too cheap to buy another air cast. Are you kidding me? It's like $14 at Rite Aid. You know how much pizza I could buy with that $14?
Oh, yeah.
And I just would change the cast on the different legs. I just remember her just looking at me at one point, just so bizarre. What the fuck is he doing? Because I was on 2 busted ankles and refused to treat one. Yeah. I'm an idiot.
The life of the beard.
It's astonishing I've lived this long.
That's how I feel. We should write a book.
We do need to take a picture together.
We do.
I don't think there's been a picture of us together since 2015.
2016.
There's that picture of the beach. Is the only one I remember. Yeah.
I think that was 2016. So it's been 6 years. That's crazy.
So yeah, when I get hit by the bus that I keep telling my coworkers is going to hit me, we should have something there for the funeral or whatever.
Yeah. I look bad in that picture too.
So do I. I was wearing a shirt from that job, which I still own and wore yesterday, in fact. It's not flattering, and that's when I was losing my hair but refusing to admit it, so it doesn't look good.
Yeah. I couldn't even tell you any picture before that. I think my graduation, maybe.
Yeah, there was a picture of us on the beach together. At this point, we're literally describing family pictures to an audience who doesn't give a shit, so I'm just gonna cut that off.
Okay, yeah.
So, if you've listened to this, well, hopefully you appreciate some weird, obscure video game talk and Yu-Gi-Oh talk and just some of the things that have made us the people we are and why I'm the way I react, the way I do when I watch movies, and why I'm so manic all the time. And if we get together to do this again and we talk about the relationship with our father and growing up and some of those stories, it'll really the picture will really come together.
Yeah, it'll be clear.
Yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed this, and like I said, I'm going to try to... I'm sorry it's been a while. I took a vacation for the first time in 5 years, like an actual vacation where I left the state and did things with other people. So I'm going to try to get some more stuff done, but yeah, and I want to do more. But I want to watch some... I got a couple old movies I want to watch and talk about that I've been wanting to watch forever, so... We'll get together and do that, but if you've listened, I hope you appreciate it, and I appreciate you, and, you know, hope we'll get to talk to you again soon, and, you know, Isaac, if you're listening, buddy, I love you, and hope to have you back again soon to record, because my life is empty. As much as I hate watching and reviewing these stupid movies, it's a hole in my life that I miss, so, you know, hopefully get back to it soon. And, yeah, I guess that's it. Lilah, do you have anything you want to plug? You have, like, a Tumblr or anything?
It's not 2014, so no.
Good, because that was a trick. If you had said yes, I was going to disown you.
No, I don't have anything I want to plug, but thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for being on. You should listen to Fuckface. It's our favorite podcast. We both listen to it. It's amazing.
Very good podcast. Favorite podcast.
Can't describe it.
Nope.
Impossible to describe. Just have to listen to it. I guess the description is Andrew Panton real? I'm still not entirely sure sometimes, but yeah, give that a listen. And thanks a lot, and hope you enjoyed.